I'm Maximillion. So short form, you can call me Max. And I'm the technical service manager for Asia Pacific, except China. And I work closely with my teammate, the Amlan sales team in Asia Pacific regions, in providing technical trainings and support to our distributors, our key accounts, overseeing the commercial trials, and sometimes I help our customers to troubleshoot their issues and problems in the forum. Well, the recent development, what I have involved is more on a training. So as we are launching our product, Varium, into the market, and Varium has been gaining a lot of tractions, a lot of interest throughout Asia Pacific. So I'm helping the teams to train the distributors and also helping the customers to understand the products and how to utilize the products into their operations. And also the most recent activities that I have been involving is helping Amlan International in our diagnostic services, which we will be talking about in the futures. The growing demand, okay, for in Southeast Asia, well, I think that even though the market right now is, with COVID-19 and everything, we do see that the poultry market is actually growing very steadily. I would say that we do expect a growth, mostly contributed by African swine fever, where many of the producers are switching over to poultry productions. I think right now the feed millers and also the producers are become more receptive to the idea of the antibiotic-free or antibiotic reductions program. Many years ago, nobody actually talks about it, but right now, many of them have started seeking reliable alternatives to these antibiotics that promotes intestinal health for the animals and to help them to achieve the targeted growth performance naturally. So, I have seen some integrators in Southeast Asia even made it their goal to shift their entire broiler operations to a ABF, antibiotic-free systems, so which is very impressive. But of course, all changes are never easy. So there are still speed bumps here and there, but in general, we do see that the Asian markets are making very positive progress towards that direction. Well, Varium is a patented product. And it is also a all natural feed additives, which is specifically designed for the feed efficiencies for poultry. And it has three unique mode of actions in the gut. And what it does is it actually protects the intestinal lining from pathogens and bacterial toxins. And it energizes the cells and stimulate the immunity. Now, this mode of action, this patented mode of action, delivers consistent poultry production performance. Now, with the uncertainties these days, poultry producers actually want a confidence and a peace of mind that their production is consistent. And Varium provides exactly that, the consistencies and the peace of mind. Well, before I delve into that, I would like to say that the strategies and implementations must go hand in hand. And if we are to ensure that we achieve the goal of going antibiotic-free or reduce the dependency of AGPs, it is crucial for our government to work very closely with the industry in the implementation and enforcement of such strategies. So to date, we have seen with the support of the industry and the livestock associations, Indonesian government has successfully implemented the ban of antibiotics in animal feed since 2018, and they are even moving towards banning the therapeutic use of colistin in livestock market to reduce the occurrence of antimicrobial resistance. In Malaysia, although Malaysia has yet to fully ban the use of AGPs in food-producing animals, but we do see progress where the Ministry of Agriculture is banning the use of 6 common antibiotics, the erythromycin, enrofloxacin, tetracycline, ceftiofur, thylacinate, and fosfomycins for growth promotions and disease prevention by end of this August, which is a good news. And Vietnam, for example, in 2008 has gradually banned the use of antibiotics in animal feed and are expected to implement a full ban by 2021. In the Philippines, even though there is no official ban of antibiotic use in animal feed, but there is actually a push from the consumer to pressure the producers to start having a product line that is antibiotics or AGP-free. Now, of course, when the government announced the implementation of such regulation, initially it creates a resistance from the industry, since we have been relying on the use of AGPs in animal feed for decades. Part of the resistance that we see is due to the lack of in-depth understanding of intestinal health, and also there were not many options for reliable and effective alternatives to antibiotics that were backed by scientific research back then. However, as the time goes by, we have seen more studies have been conducted by various on various types of alternative by universities, by research institutes, and even by the producer themselves. So the producers are getting more confident and with the available options in the market and are more willing to adopt the government ban. So we do see that the resistance is not as bad as it used to be. Oh yeah, we have conducted many studies since 2018, and we have compared the efficacy of Varium to replace antibiotic growth promoters such as anradine, tylosin, halquinol, and even with other antibiotics alternatives such as probiotics, essential oils, and butyric acid as well. All our studies shows that Varium can effectively replace these additives and always provide positive performance and results when compared to these additives. Now, if we look into the studies that we conducted from 2016 to 2019, we have Varium trials conducted in over 60 million birds globally. And we found that under AGP-free productions, Varium improves the broiler FCR by 3.7%, and it reduces the broiler mortality by almost 11%. Well, I think the push of the consumers for more natural products, more natural protein, is motivating the poultry producers to respond to the theme. But at the same time, we see that the government regulations are starting to take place, forcing most of these poultry producers to adapt and meet the regulations. What we see is Varium is a proven to be a natural feed additives and alternatives to antibiotics. And because the patent that we have in China, US, Europe, and these other markets are leading practice of ABF or antibiotic-free poultry productions. And this is where we see the opportunities in my regions here in Asia.